Today we want to talk about something that is pretty important in most people's minds.
In-network provider, out-of-network provider.
In insurance or out of insurance or fee-for-service, out of network.
Out-of-network
providers.
Man,
what does that mean? Out of network.
What does that mean?
What does it mean? Everyone's like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what
because someone may say, oh, so you don't take my insurance?
Correct.
But that's not the truth.
That's not the truth. I think that a lot of people don't understand that you can go to an out-of-network provider and still use your insurance. And I think it really comes down to, for the patient, and when you're thinking about a dentist in-network, out-of-network, what am I going to pay? What does it really mean? You have to kind of look and go, what kind of service will I receive from this doctor from being in that scenario? So in dentistry, the idea behind dental insurance is they basically sell a product to a corporation, and that corporation then has their employees sign up with their insurance. And what the idea is that they will find dentists in their network, and that way when you're working, you can kind of look and go, okay, if I go to this dentist, I will receive care. I will only have to pay so much to go to that dentist, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like and we call that being in-network providers for dental, for insurance companies.
You're within someone's network.
We're in the network.
Yes.
So the benefit for the employee is that they'll get some like reduced rates, by going to them. And, a lot of times the insurance company, the employer pays half to even full amount of the numbers, the annual fee. And so it's much more of a reduced, cost for them.
Yeah. I mean, the kicker being there's multiple tiers. So just because I have one insurance and you might say, well, I have the same, it could be many different levels of insurance, just like health insurances.
Just like health, which is just as confusing.
Yes.
Okay. So now from the dental standpoint, like what does it mean for the dentist? What does it mean?
Yeah.
You want to take that? You want me to take that?
I think you should take it.
Okay. So if you're a dentist and you take insurance and you're in network, what that means is I will have patients sent to me from this insurance company that I then have to, kind of restrict what I charge or the different treatment based on what their they qualify as needs. And a lot of times I have to submit things to the insurance company. If I want to do a certain procedure, I may have to get pre-qualified for that procedure I also may be limited by the procedure because of what the insurance company will.
It's not based on an individual or an individual's need. It's kind of based on a whole, like an average.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what that really means is for the provider, such as ourselves, we get really limited by the insurance company. They kind of
dictate what we do.
It does, right?
That everyone should be treated the same when we know that for our own patients, like each patient has their own individual needs. They should be seeing us at their own interval. They should be receiving x-rays at their own interval, based on risk factors and their needs.
So they kind of group everybody together.
Yeah.
And that's not, and so then there's the other dentists, such as ourselves, are out of network.
Out-of-network
man,
providers.
what does that mean? Out of network.
What does that mean?
What does it mean? Everyone's like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what
because someone may say, oh, so you don't take my insurance?
Correct.
But that's not the truth.
That's not the truth. We could still take your insurance. We still use their insurance.
Yes.
We just happen to be. We've decided. And let me maybe give you a little bit of information in our journey. We've been dentists for. We may have mentioned this before. Dentists for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
And in that time, we've probably been in network providers for
the majority.
At least the majority, to maybe almost 25 years.
Yeah.
We came to a certain fork in the road at COVID. Because we were shut down and we thought, hey, listen, let's look at our business. Let's look how we're providing, care for our patients. What can we do to make this more optimal?
Yeah.
And one of the things that we noticed was insurance companies were really dictating how we did treatment, and they were limiting what we did. They were limiting how we perform certain procedures, and even how we were reimbursed for those procedures.
Yeah. Even to the point of patients were asking, well, that seems ridiculous. Why is an insurance company dictating what the dentist is recommending or providing?
And they kind of group all dentists as being equal. meaning that we all have the same overhead, we all have the same equipment, the same staffing needs, the same, and that just doesn't work. Someone in the middle of rural America doesn't have the same overhead as someone who's practicing in a suburban or metropolitan area. And
Correct.
So, but being reimbursed by the insurance company the same way, it really limits how we can treat patients. So we decided at that point in time to be out of network providers.
Yeah.
And so what that means for us is that we are not compensated at a lower amount that the insurance company is trying to say that we would receive. So it allows us to spend more time with our patients. And it wasn't a financial decision as much as it was quality of life decision.
Yeah.
And we decided that this will be better for us and better for our patients.
And more importantly, our patients.
Correct.
Yeah.
That we could spend more time with them, give them better quality of care by being out of network.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, that was a lot to go through. I mean, I remember it. It
took time.
It's a scary thing for dentists to be out of network.
Yeah, it's super scary.
They threaten you. If you leave, everyone's going to leave.
You can't come back.
Like, talk about dental anxiety. It's right there,
And I think it's important to note, although we are out of network providers, we still submit all the information for the patient's insurance for them.
Right.
Because who wants to do that on their own?
I don't do the paperwork.
Yeah,
and they're tricky. They're tricky. They have ways they know how to get out of stuff. If you ever had a claim denied, they know how to do it, and so I think that was, our biggest thing was quality of life. And so, and we really feel like it's helped our patients. It helped our relationship with our patients, and really the most important of what we do. And we want to strengthen that. The reason why we even have this podcast is we're about the relationship.
Yeah.
And being in network just couldn't give them the relationship that we wanted.
It didn't match our philosophy.
Right.
It didn't allow us to do the way in which we wanted to treat our patients, basically like our family.
And so a lot of the questions, maybe you can even what are some of the questions that you get from patients, after when they say you're out of network, what do they say to you?
Oh, I think the first thing I always hear is they don't take my insurance, when that straight away is not true. Right. We've actually found, because the dental coordinators will keep me updated, that sometimes they'll get reimbursed at a higher rate than when they're sending their reimbursement to the patient than they would even to us. Yeah. So in making them think oh my gosh, do I have to send in this paperwork? I don't even know what tooth number 3 is. Right. So they get kind of freaked out.
So one of the tricky things that insurance company will do to keep you in network is they will not send the reimbursement to the doctor, they'll send it to the patient. And so that means when the patient comes in, and that's why Sara was touching on that, it's scary to the patient because they have a larger upfront cost. And you're like, oh man, I got to pay. I never had to pay that before. Why am I going to do this now?
So it takes them, but even remember when we first were switching, we did our due diligence and we said, hey, you know what? Don't pay us now. Let's wait till you get your reimbursement so that you could get used to how it was going to work. That we weren't accepting any payment at first,
that was a nightmare.
Just so that we could, but we trusted our patients as they entrusted us. So we wanted to show them that we were doing it for the good of all.
Right. I cut back on all my hair products and all my salon visits and I took one for the team.
You did.
But yeah, so that was a big factor. And I think that a lot of people don't understand that you can go to an out-of-network provider and still use your insurance. And the next big question is, well, why would, it's going to cost me a little bit more, and that depends on where you are.
Why would I pay more?
Why would I pay more? It's a great question. One of the things that happens when you're in network insurance is that since they limit your fees so much, and every year it gets even more, I don't want to name different companies, but we've seen it happen over the years where the reimbursement for no good reason would drop 5%, 10% each year. Yeah. Meanwhile, the price of living goes up, and staffing goes up, everything goes up, but yet they're going the other direction. Yeah. So it really limits on what you can do. And so as a result, you'll see, how do you recoup those costs? Well, you have to go faster. And we've all seen it in medicine. We've all walked into a doctor's office and seen 30 people in the waiting room, or, 5 minutes with a doctor instead of a half an hour.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way they can get their costs back, is by going higher, faster and quicker. We didn't want to do that. We decided that it's the relationship that matters more than anything, not the cost of trying to make more by going quicker or faster. One of the other things that we notice is that, and we see this from other providers that are sent to us that are in network, is sometimes the patients will come in and the other dentist will have found more work to do, to kind of make up with, and that's kind of a sad thing, because you're like, do they really need the work, or is it?
Yeah.
And I feel like even in the good guy, and sometimes insurance can cause that to happen, because they're trying to make up their costs. They're trying to make up their, their business to run.
Which, hits us hard, because we hold being a dentist so high, so
Correct.
Prideful, that like is the opposite of how we feel about dentistry.
Right. And so it went against, like, when we really had the time to think what we wanted to do moving forward, being in network went against our philosophy of giving quality care and building that relationship. And so since then, we've enjoyed the fact that we can give our patients more time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give them better materials, give them better
technologies.
It's true. And the staff, being able to employ a staff that we can keep and give better benefits to, because we can afford to pay them more because of the fact that we want a better team to help that patient. So, wow. Now it seems like a no-brainer, but it was a tough thing back then.
No, it changes hard.
Right, it is hard. And I wish the dental insurance companies could understand that, and understand that the same balance or the same payout that they gave 30 years ago should not be the same one today.
Yeah.
Like dentists in the 70s had $1,000 maximum benefit. It's the same one today. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It was.
But that's we kind of took it out of our equation, and now just can give the best care for each patient, what's right for them.
Right. It's about the relationship, and you'll see that a lot of times our decisions are made based on keeping that great relationship with the patient.
Well, and as we always say, it's about our compass. If it's going toward the relationship or what's best for the patient, that's what's best for us.
That's what's best for us. It's true. And I think it really comes down to, for the patient, and when you're thinking about a dentist in network, out of network, what am I going to pay? What does it really mean? You have to kind of look and go, what kind of service will I receive from this doctor from being in that scenario? And if you put more emphasis on more time spent with a doctor, or a low volume setting, maybe being out of network is for you. And having that relationship is more important. If you're looking for quick, fast, in and out as fast as I can, whatever you need to do, I'm done. It's good. Well, then maybe in network's great.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying every in-network provider doesn't give you great service.
Yeah.
But it's sure much more challenging when an insurance company is dictating your fee schedule and the procedures.
Dictating what you do and how you treat.
So I think that's what you have to kind of think of, is knowing now that, a little bit more about what happens with in-network and out of network. You have to decide where you fall in that value of what you're looking for. And then really another thing is you can ask your dentist, really
that's
full disclosure,
Yeah, that's who you're having the relationship with. That's the person you want to see every, whatever your interval is, every 6 months, every 12 months. What would they recommend?
Right.
And are they treating just your tooth, or are they treating the whole you?
Right. That's a good point. And I think sometimes that means that having a extra, conversation with your HR department, or even with the dentist and their front desk, what am I going to be receiving for my insurance? What am I going to get benefits out of?
We've had plenty of patients that have gone, and I'm like, go be your own advocate. It's your employer may have several tiers, or maybe they chose just the one tier for everyone, and maybe that doesn't work for you.
Right. And we've had plenty of patients that have left because they wanted the cheaper deal being in network, and they came back to find us later on and said, I'm willing to pay a little bit more because I put more value on the service and the relationship.
Yeah.
And so that was a huge part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, one of the things you can also do is, I understand this can be confusing, and we're happy to answer any questions. If always leave us a little comment if there's something interesting or something unique about your insurance you have a question with. But I think we'd love to hear some of your opinions on that as well too. But I think once again, it's up to you to determine what is important to you, and also, what do you want to hear from us? We're always happy to hear, anyone,
absolutely.
different topics.
A great topic, a great question.
That's right. Hair products, anything, like anything that you want from us, feel free to leave a little comment for us.
Yeah.
But thanks again for listening to or watching.
Thanks for watching.
I'm Dr. Fiorillo.
And I'm Dr. Filstrup.
Have a great one.
Have a great one.